Russia's stance on this, first of all, on GMO? And do you also have this kind of seeds whereby it's a single use, which technically it means monopoly, whoever controls those type of seeds? Another thing which is very interesting, you mentioned coffee. Fuse, it's your techie, Djsma 255. Niko Russia, Moscow. Nianza kwanza kumshukuru Mwenyezi Mungu Subhanahu wa Ta'ala kwa kufika salama. Leo ndo day 1. Tunajiandaa kwenda kwa sababu ya food round table na inahusiana na mambo ya chakula, usalama wa chakula na jinsi gani Tanzania na Urusi zinaweza zikashirikiana. Na ni kwa udhamini mkubwa, na udhamini huu unakuja kutokana na kwa ushirikiano mzuri kati ya serikali ya Tanzania na serikali ya Urusi. Wakati nchi zingine zinatuwekea restrictions za kusafiri, Urusi inafanya extending hand. Wao, the Russian Federation ndio iliyogharamia safari nzima kwa sababu ya kuja Russia, Moscow, kujua utaratibu wao. Tunafahamu kwamba Russia ndio inaongoza uzalishaji wa grains na fertilizer. Kwa hiyo tumekuja kuangalia kitu gani ambacho Tanzania na Urusi tunaweza tukashirikiana as partners, kama washirika, sio mmoja yuko juu, sio mmoja yuko chini. Kwa hiyo ni kitu ambacho nitoe heko kwa serikali ya Urusi, nitoe heko kwa serikali ya Tanzania, kwa sababu haya ni matunda ya mashirikiano mazuri. Ingekuwa hakuna ushirikiano mzuri, nadhani mmeona, na huwa napenda kutoa mifano. Kuna baadhi ya nchi zimeweka restrictions au zimetishia kuweka restrictions ya Watanzania kwa ajili ya kwenda nchi zao, lakini serikali ya Urusi yenyewe imetoa extending hand. Wao Russian Federation kupitia the Russian House, by the way, nakushaurini nendeni Russian House, ipo opposite ya Aga Khan Hospital pale Upanga. Kuna fursa nyingi sana. Kuna kama unasoma chuo, kila mwaka wanatoa zaidi ya wanafunzi 100 sponsorship au scholarship kwa ajili ya kwenda Urusi kusoma vitu tofauti tofauti. Kuna yule mzee ambaye niliongea naye alisoma Urusi zaidi ya miaka 7 engineering. Kwa hiyo mwisho wa siku niko Moscow, maandalizi ya day 1. Nashukuru sana, Mwenyezi Mungu ndo mfadhili namba 1. Nashukuru the Russian Federation, mdhamini namba 2, lakini pia kuna wadhamini binafsi, mtu kama Mtashi Motors, Djsma all the way kutoka SNS. Behind the camera mwanangu Akili Saleh. Fuse wa SMS, tuko kwenye Russian Chamber of Commerce na Industry. Kwa hiyo kinachofanyika na kilichotuleta hapa Moscow ni food security is the key to the future, kwa maana kwamba usalama wa chakula ndio ufunguo wa mustakabali wetu, kwa sababu nchi ambayo ina uhakika wa chakula chake, raia wake wana uhakika wa chakula, hawana hofu ya upande huo. Ndio maana kwa hiyo hapa kinachoendelea ni round table. Kama mnavyoona, kuna watu kutoka nchi tofauti tofauti za Afrika, tuna wataalamu, tuna wabobezi wa kutoka Urusi. Kuna baadhi ya vitu ambavyo tutashare. Kwa hiyo tunachodiscuss hapa ni jinsi gani Urusi na Tanzania, of course kuna nchi zingine, lakini mimi kwa vile nawakilisha Tanzania, tuna jinsi gani ambavyo tunaweza tukashirikiana. Urusi ndio nchi namba 1 inayoongoza kwa uzalishaji wa nafaka pamoja na mbolea. Kwa hiyo kuna fursa kati ya nchi zetu zote mbili, wa Tanzania na Urusi, kushirikiana na kila mtu akawini kama washirika, sio kama mmoja mhitaji, mmoja bosi, mmoja kama nchi zingine ambazo zinafanya, lakini the theme ni ushirikiano. Hi guys, my name is Djsma. I'm from Tanzania. I have a few questions as well as some observations. The questions will be open to who can answer. First of all, you spoke about global arable land and its decline, especially for the past 2 years, including France and Germany. And There are certain things I did not understand due to the communication and the sound. So please kindly share with me. What is the main reason for the decline? One of the speakers mentioned that 40% of arable land in Africa has been destroyed due to the types of fertilizer which have been used. There is this very specific fertilizer which have been mentioned, which includes cadmium. I would like to know who's the main producer of this type of fertilizer and who's the main supplier. Because I'm an African, it does affect us, so I'd like to know. But on the other side, you mentioned that Russia has the most eco-friendly fertilizer in the world. So do you have any research or any type of proof to prove that? And someone did mention climate change. Honestly, I've been doing some extensive research on that. I'm not a big fan because the facts actually do not make it's more political. And you also mentioned that you do have fertilizer which is specific for Africa. I'd like to know more about that. And you also mentioned that 60% of the arable land in Africa is not used. Do you have the reasons behind that? And when you are mentioning the 50-year trends, it shows that most, especially in Africa, we are in decline, the yields, but in Russia, it's booming, it's increasing. Regardless of the type of lands and the climate, we do know that the cold climate is not as friendly as the type of climates we have in Russia, but nevertheless, there is a decline. Is it because of the new technology that Russia is using that is helping, or is it because of the 40% that you did mention that of the arable land which has been affected by toxins from the fertilizer? Kindly share. So that is from the technical perspective of that. And this is something that I am known in my country to specialize. I simply look beyond the technicalities. So in comes the geopolitics of things. You did mention the corporations. So the corporations have a different interest from what the societies do have. And it also opens another hole whereby pharmaceutical industry, technically in collaboration with the food industry. And these are facts that I can prove. For example, when you come to Dr. Henry Kissinger, I'm sure everybody's familiar. He had it's known as the Kissinger report, which is NSSM 200. And one of the quotes in there, he said, control the oil, you control nations, control the food, you control people. And amongst that, very specifically in there, he spoke about weaponization of food and how they can use it to control. And there's also this trend that is also going on around. For those who are paying attention, people like Bill Gates and the rest, they're talking about depopulation. And one of the things that they're using, which is very important, is the food. So, for example, we have GMO food, which unfortunately in Africa, we have those type of seeds that you can plant it this season, harvest it, and plant it again. But what is being pushed currently on us is GMO seeds, which after harvesting it, you cannot plant it again. So I'd like to know Russia's stance on this, first of all, on GMO. And do you also have this kind of seeds whereby it's a single use, which technically it means monopoly. Whoever controls those type of seeds, once you plant them, you cannot use them again. You have to go back to whoever is supplying it. What kind of seeds are you providing? And another thing which is very interesting, you mentioned coffee. So, for example, I'm from Tanzania. We grow very good coffee from Tanzania, from Kenya, and Ethiopia, and around that. But what you mentioned is you're getting it from Switzerland and other European countries. I don't know if they do grow that. Is it from the geopolitical side of things? That's why you're not getting it from there? Or how does that work? Because it's really strange, because if, for example, Tanzania, we're almost 90% of our grains, we are getting from Russia, as well as fertilizer. So I think it should be bilateral, whereby it's a win-win situation on that side. Another thing is, which is very, very important on the geopolitical side, and this is something that with what is currently going on, is Africans have been for a very long time mistreated and misused, especially by the Western powers. And this can be proven. For example, in the early 2000s, there was a famine in Malawi. And the president of Malawi said, and this is something that proof is available, he said that the terms and conditions of the IMF forced them to sell their strategic food supply. And this is something that has been there from the World Bank and from the IMF. They have a very clear and strategic module whereby to control Africa by very unfriendly and abusive terms and conditions which comes with them. So currently, we are moving from a unipolar system into a multipolar system. So we have Russia, which is after the fall of the Soviet Union and the 10 years which was lost, Russia is back at its best. We have the emergence of China, we have the emergence of India. So we are moving into a multipolar world. And Africans, if you have noticed the trend, are happy with this trend and I'm looking for other alternatives. You can look at the Sahel region, what is happening. There is very good collaboration between the Africans and Russia, which means we do need this system. So we need to know Russia's stand on this, because at the end of the day, Russia is, for most of Africans, is being eyed as a savior. And when I'm saying this, you have to differentiate between some of the African governments and the people. The local people, most of them have been covering this for a very long time, do love Russians. Some of the leaders, it's complicated because of the geopolitical pressure, and which means now we are having an alternative. If we don't like what is being offered by the World Bank, IMF, and other Western systems, we can come to Russia and China and India, and which means if Russia loses, I know there's a very big battle is going on. It's not simply on the war front, which is Ukraine, but also on the geopolitical side. If for some reason Russia loses, all those countries which have been going toward these directions will be in a very, very bad situation. And I hope you have noticed, because I spoke with Primakov. It was an online, and I asked him about partnership between Africa and Russia. So if you have noticed the trend, even when there was the Africa-Russian summit, most of the African leaders, when they came here, what they are after is partnership. That is not available in the Western system. It's the boss telling his subordinates, we want you to do this, we want you to do that. And that can be proven. If you look at Dr. Howard's lecture, he said it's by default that Russian has been created through systems to make it raw material producers. And to a certain point whereby several African countries are told to grow the same type of crops, which means if we are all growing the same type of crops, the buyer can control the pricing, then can monopolize what's going on. That is the kind of system that we are running away. We need to know that coming towards Russia, is it the same system? What can we expect? As of now, I would like to end here. I know also my friends have do questions. Thank you.
Mwana Fuse, kama utaki kupata shida, kupata updates zote za Fuse kutoka kwa Djsma, iwe ni Fuse Ndinga, Fuse Tech, Fuse Military, X-Files, Fuse Afya, Fuse Adventure, kuna WhatsApp channel ambayo haina story, haina mambo mengi, link zinakuwa zinatupwa pale. Kwa hiyo ukiscan hii hapa, it's your techie Djsma 255 hapa SNS. Unaweza follow on my Instagram Djsma 255, YouTube channel DJSMA 255, Threads Djsma 255, Snapchat Djsma 255, TikTok Djsma 255. Account name yapo, lakini vile vile unaweza ukatoa simu yako ukascan hiyo ikakupeleka moja kwa moja huko. Ninakuwa na posti vitu ambavyo ni fun, clip kwa ufupi ambazo mada ambazo unazitoa, mambo yangu ya mapishi na pochopocho za hapa na pale. TikTok Djsma 255.
Djsma.